You bring it back anyway.
Brady, I see you.
It's happening.
Let me know. I was saying.
See, they're all plotting.
Well, I didn't want this to work.
I hear the witchy. All right, you ready?
I think I did.
I think it's called.
This will work.
Good evening. I'd like to call the regular Borough Council meeting of April 11, 2022 to order. This meeting has been properly advertised in the Home News Tribune of January 7, 2022, according to Public Law 1975, Chapter 231. Clerk, please call the roll.
Council President Abdallah.
Present.
Councilwoman Parada.
Present.
Councilman Adolphus.
Present.
Councilwoman Bost.
Present.
Councilwoman Williams.
Present.
Councilwoman Brzezinska.
Present.
All present, Mayor.
Will everyone please stand for a moment of silence and salute to the flag? I'd like to introduce Mr. Bill Neary from Keep Middlesex Moving. Mr. Neary, please step to the microphone.
Good evening. Good evening. We'll use the podium there. Thanks.
Mayors, Borough Council, it's a pleasure being here in Milltown. It's a great night tonight. I just want to ask the members of the council tonight, how many of you have driven your cars here tonight? Raise a hand. A couple have, okay? Some of you have not driven your cars. Is there a reason? Perhaps you don't have a car. Maybe you don't have a driver's license. Maybe you can't drive your car. So Keep Middlesex Moving, we're concerned about people who can't drive, who can't own a car, who can't drive a car. Those are the people we think about when we look at what ride sharing is all about. So obviously, you people got here somehow tonight. Did you walk? No. Did you ride your bike? Probably not. Chances are you probably got here because somebody brought you here in a car. That's ride sharing. That's what we call ride sharing. At Keep Middlesex Moving, our programs have been designed, and our mission has been for 30-some years to provide transportation for those who can't drive or do not want to be in a single occupancy vehicle. People who find that there's other ways to get around without having to be in a car all the time. So I think it's important that we look at the future of how we determine what transportation is all about. Mobility is the issue, not necessarily just transportation. Mobility means that when you want to go someplace without having to drive a car by yourself, you'll share the ride, or you'll take mass transit, or you'll bike, or you'll ride your bicycle, or you'll walk to someplace you want to go. And if those type of programs are important to you, and those type of things are good for the environment and good for saving lots and lots of money, you can think of it in a way as do this safely. The roads themselves are not designed only for cars. The roads are designed for people to be able to move from place to place. So we have programs that Keep Middlesex Moving that I think are very valuable for those type of people. We want to be able to teach children how to walk to school safely. We want to teach seniors how to go to places safely. We want to teach drivers in their cars to make sure that they know that there's other people on the road besides themselves in their cars. Milltown has a long, long history, long before probably you guys are here, of don't go fast through Main Street in Milltown. Everybody knew you do not go fast on Main Street in Milltown. But the reason you know that is because over the years, Milltown has a long, long history of providing safety for people along Main Street. But we know statistically, a lot of crashes occur off of Main Street. They're in your neighborhood. They're in your schools. They're people who are actually not just driving their cars, but people who are walking, and people who are bicycling, and people doing other things, and people of all ages. Every single one of you, no matter how you got here tonight, when you got out of the car that you were riding in, had to walk. You were a pedestrian. You are now on a road where cars are moving and you are walking. So we want to make sure you know that when you're doing these type of programs and things that your friends and your family have to be safe. So Keep Middlesex Moving, we worked tirelessly. Milltown's been a very successful town of working with Keep Middlesex Moving. Milltown has had a Safe Routes to School program. You've had a Street Smart program. You've had, if you didn't notice, in your elementary school, Paint the Pavement, about look up when you're crossing the street. Those are programs that we have worked on in the past. So I want to make sure you remind you, when you look into the future, and the future isn't just in cars, and the future is just isn't in gas-powered cars. Electric vehicles, autonomous vehicles are all part of what you're going to be seeing in your lifetime. Autonomous vehicles are here. Electric vehicles are certainly here. So we're going to be working with your council and your mayor on electric vehicle ordinances to make sure that people know that gas-powered vehicles are not the only way to drive a car and not the only thing you need to pollute the air. So I want to thank you all for inviting me tonight. I brought a couple little tchotchke things, little gifts for you, okay? I want you to remember this when you're out there. I'm sorry I didn't wear a tie. You look really good in a tie. I'm telling you, okay? You look like a real councilman. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Pass it down. There we go.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Bill, you got one stuck to your foot. Don't trip, please.
Be careful.
Please.
Thank you.
It's my job to keep you safe walking.
Yeah, tripping me. Great. But I want to thank Milltown for inviting me here tonight. I want to thank the mayor for appreciating the safety features that make Milltown a great community to live in, to work in, and to play in. And thank you all. I'm going to leave these here for you and the other council members. If you want the bag, you can have it, but there's also a brochure about the things we've worked on in the past. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Hang there 1 second, Mayor.
You have a question?
Yes. Are there any questions from anybody in the audience or on the council?
So I have one.
Uh-oh.
When we were meeting with the students last week to get them prepped, they were very excited about the $250,000 grant we just got from the state for the bike path. So I told them that we would be working with Keep Middlesex Moving for that, because you can also provide bike racks, correct? And other ideas for us on how to extend our Mill Pond Park to have more of a walking bike path. So that's something that I know that I'm sure all the students would like to give some input going forward too, on ideas for that.
Well, thank you, Mayor. I think it's important that you're looking at that. You're actually looking into how these type of programs are going to enhance your community. I think it's a great question. The grant that you have will provide different types of resources you want. Keep Middlesex Moving, obviously, we have no drivers. We don't have any vehicles, but at the same time, we provide these type of assistance to help you make these kind of programs possible. Because I think it's important when people look beyond single occupancy vehicles as the future for quality of life. It's an important thing to do. And I think the fact that you have that grant, the fact that you have that kind of funds to spend without raising taxpayer dollars to do that, I think it's a great program that's going to make Milltown even a better community.
Great. And can you just tell the students about the bike derbies that Keep Middlesex Moving
Well,
provides?
it's a bike rodeo.
Bike rodeo.
It's a bike rodeo. We have a bike rodeo mostly for the younger children because we want to teach them the safety that you need to know about, okay? I mean, there are new laws in New Jersey right now called the Safe Passing Law. If you're on your bicycle, the cars are designed and desired and legally responsible to not be closer than 4 feet from your pedestrian or bicycle. They have to be further away from you. That goes along with the type of things with bike rodeos. young children, we want to make sure they understand the need for wearing their helmets. We want to make sure they understand how to safely ride a bicycle. We have programs that are bike rodeos. We've had them in, I would say, 15 to 25 towns in Middlesex County right now. We're going to schedule one, hopefully this spring. We're going to be able to do that for the younger children with the Safe Routes to School program to teach them bike safety and bike maintenance, know how to work their brakes, know how to operate their bicycle safely, and make sure they don't do things crazy when they're riding their bicycles. Because sometimes, although the drivers are legally responsible, the people on the bikes are also responsible to make sure they're providing safety on the road also. Yes, sir.
Again, thank you for coming, Mr. Neary. My question is, will you be willing to meet up with our recreation programs to talk about the walking bike programs and stuff like that?
I'm not only willing, I'm anxious to do it, okay? We're happy to do that. We have a staff at Keep Middlesex Moving who can definitely work. We have a certified bike instructor, the state of New Jersey. We have a variety of different programs. One of the things that's really, I think, interesting is we use social media so much in the past. We have a program coming up next month on this whole Street Smart campaign that the state is doing. Middlesex County has just adopted an ordinance for Vision Zero, which means the goal of Middlesex County is to reduce traffic fatalities, serious fatalities, or even crashes to as close to zero as we can work, and work on different programs that are going to go along with that. So when we talk about those kind of recreation issues you're talking about, it's not just recreation. It's learning to make sure you do things the right way when you are out doing things for fun, to be safe while you're doing it. But at the same time, the goal is, and Keep Middlesex Moving, there's 3 E's we call safety. It's based upon enforcement, engineering, and education. Your public safety department, your police department, is always on top of things for the enforcement part. The engineering part will be part of what the mayor was talking about with the grant, to make sure it's even safer for the sidewalks and the streets to be safe. And the education part is Keep Middlesex Moving's job, to work together in the 3 E's of that stool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Questions?
Thanks very much.
Well, I appreciate you inviting me. This is a great program for me. I always consider Milltown my second town. I live in East Brunswick, okay? I've lived in East Brunswick for a long time. Just for historical purposes, Milltown used to be part of East Brunswick, okay? But if you look back at your history books, you've created your own history and done a great job. Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Neary. And now will Mr. Ron Cephalone, the Milltown Recreation Director, step to the microphone and proceed with the presentation on community pass procedures.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. First of all, Mr. Neary, thank you very much for attending. We look forward to our Recreation Department working closely with Keep Middlesex Moving. This evening, I'll make my presentation short. Our goal here in the borough is to drive our traffic to our community pass site, as I'll be showing you shortly. Recently, we have been cultivating new programs that we have now launched over the weekend, and it's good to say that this weekend we brought in a significant amount of revenue, and we say that because our goal with Community Pass is to reduce cash transactions. And it's an opportunity for us to create a hub for us to market, to cross-reference, work with various folks such as school districts, Keep Middlesex Moving, and other folks. And first of all, before I show you the presentation, I want to congratulate each and every one of you students. You are the future leaders. You're also hopefully going to be our future employees, whether it's at Albert Avenue Summer Camp, whether it's at our pools. So thank you for your time. And like I said, hopefully myself, Kim in our office, our recreation team, we look forward to working with each and every one of you and how we together can move Milltown forward. So at this time, I'll just share over the website and show you some of the steps that we'll take, okay? Thank you. So, Russ, you're zooming in on us, okay? For the folks who are home taking a look on YouTube, When you visit our site, our main site here, milltownnj.org, you would go into our departments. Under departments, you would see recreation, and the first tab would be program registration for Community Pass. Okay, families, there's many families in town who have access. Microphone?
Use the engineers. That's good.
Well, my voice can be pretty loud. There's a lot of families in Milltown who do have access to Community Pass. However, with new programs coming forward, creating a marketing campaign, a plan to educate our community, this is where folks are going to go. In other towns, we've collaborated with school districts. For instance, our DPW on litter marches, we can compile a database, and therefore, if a certain group wants to focus in that area, we could be able to print you out those participants and grow our programs together. So when you're at this site, you would create your user login, and I'll put mine in real quick. And what this is going to do is this will bring you then to our main page. Folks at home will see, click here to register, and then this is going to bring up, you're going to have a family verification, first step, continue, and then you're going to see all the offerings that we have here presently for the spring/summer 2022. One that we recently added over the weekend was Recreation Camp, and I'm going to show you the sessions. This will have two programs within this session. One will be our Albert Avenue Summer Camp for ages 4 through 13. And as you could see, we had 150 eligible openings. We are now down to 72 slots open. So utilizing technology, getting this information out quickly enables us to capture that information and see where our programs are going to be successful. In turn, we've also created our CIT summer program. That's for folks like yourself, the students who are in attendance, their friends, their family members, to also become summer camp counselors. Let me see here, I'm just going to go back. But as you can see, scrolling up, scrolling down, you can see the various programs that we do offer. Tonight, this morning it started, we actually have a new walking club, and I wanted to credit a lot of the folks before me who were trying to drive the program, and we've got that off the ground, and hopefully we now need more participation. But it's a site like this that you can visit. If anybody does have any questions, let me just come back here real quick. That's pretty much done with our presentation, but in general, if anybody has any questions, we're here in the recreation office on the first floor. We're on the left-hand side, and we're going to be doing more programs at our senior center, at Albert Avenue, our aquatic center, and we look forward to working with each and every one of you this summer. And if you have any questions, again, like we said, please email us, pick up the phone, call us, and we'll be more than happy to help you register for Community Pass and have folks engage in our programs. Okay, so thank you very much and best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Siflin.
Thank you.
May I
Ron,
have,
excuse me one second, ma'am.
Sure.
Ron, can you just turn the projector off for me at that side? That would be great, thanks. You may continue, ma'am. Thanks.
Thanks, Ron.
may I have a motion and a second to approve minutes of March 28th, 2022?
I make the motion to approve the minutes of March 28th, 2022.
I second the motion to approve the minutes of March 28th, 2022.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no.
Motion passes to approve the minutes.
Next on the agenda is comments from the audience on resolutions. If any member of the public wishes to speak on any of the resolutions, please step to the microphone and identify yourself to the clerk and say your name and address for the record. These comments are limited to resolutions listed on the consent agenda. Seeing no one wishing to speak, I will close public comment. Next on the agenda, we have bills and claims. Will the clerk please read the resolution 097-2022 by title?
Authorizing the payment of bills, claims, and statements against the Borough of Milltown in the total amount of $1,820,169.63.
May I have a motion and a second to approve resolution 097-2022?
I make the motion to approve the bill list resolution 097-2022.
I second the motion to approve bill list resolution 097-2022.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Boss and a second by Council President Abdallah. Is there any discussion by council? Hearing none, clerk, will you please call the roll?
Council President Abdallah.
Aye.
Councilwoman Paprada.
Aye.
Councilman Adolphus.
Aye.
Councilwoman Boss.
Aye.
Councilwoman Williams.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brzezinska.
Aye.
Motion carries to pay the bills.
When voting on resolutions, all matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and, having been reviewed by the Borough Council, will be enacted by one motion. Any item may be removed from the consent agenda at the request of any council member, and if so removed, will be treated as a separate matter. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds. Are there any questions? Does any council person want to pull any resolution from consent agenda? There being no request to pull any resolutions, will the clerk please read the consent resolution?
Whereas, pursuant to the rules of council, the council may establish a consent agenda for any regular or special meeting. And whereas the Borough Clerk has posted a consent agenda for this meeting, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and the Borough Council of the Borough of Milltown, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, that the consent agenda previously prepared by the Borough Clerk be approved without the necessity of having the individual resolutions read by the Borough Clerk.
You have heard the reading of this resolution. What is your pleasure?
I make the motion to approve resolutions 098-2022 through 101-2022 by consent agenda.
I second the motion to approve resolutions 098-2020 through 101-2022 by consent agenda.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Pepperotta and a second by Councilman Dolphus. Is there any discussion by council? Hearing none, clerk, will you please call the roll?
Council President Abdallah.
Aye.
Councilwoman Paprada.
Aye.
Councilman Adolphus.
Aye.
Councilwoman Boss.
Aye.
Councilwoman Williams.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brzezinska.
Aye.
Motion carries to approve the resolutions 098 through 101.
There will be no public input on the introduction of ordinance 22-1509. The introduction summary will be published in the Home News Tribune on April 14, 2022, and second reading, public hearing, and final adoption will be considered on April 25, 2022. Full copies of the ordinance will be posted on the Borough website, on the bulletin board at the Municipal Building, and available at no cost in the office of the Municipal Clerk between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m., Monday through Friday. Clerk Marler, will you please read the ordinance by title only?
1509 is an ordinance to amend Chapter 14, Parks and Recreation, Section 6, Borough Pool, subsection 6.3, fees, and Section 7, Recreation Programs, subsection 7.2, fees of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Milltown, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey.
May I have a motion and a second to introduce ordinance 22-1509?
I make the motion to introduce ordinance 22-1509.
I second the motion to introduce ordinance 22-1509.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Pepperotta and a second by Council President Abdallah. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Council President Abdallah.
Aye.
Councilwoman Paprada.
Aye.
Councilman Adolphus.
Aye.
Councilwoman Boss.
Aye.
Councilwoman Williams.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brzezinska.
Aye.
Motion carries to introduce ordinance 1509.
We have reports from each department. We will begin with the report from the Department of Safety, Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. Chief Cannelli reported on behalf of the Milltown Police that they will continue strict traffic enforcement throughout town. Residents are reminded that all sports equipment must be removed from roadways and road repairs, street sweeping, and overall safety for our residents and motorists. As spring arrives, residents are reminded to please drive with extra caution as pedestrian traffic will increase. Chief Kennelly and the entire Milltown Police Department would like to congratulate the Joyce Kilmer School graduating class of 2022. We are so proud of your achievements and wish you the best of luck in high school. Thank you and happy spring. The Milltown Fire Department reported they had a busy month that included fire calls, wake funeral service, meetings, work details, and training. 2 notable fire calls included a child stuck in an elevator at the shopping center on East Mill Drive and the motor vehicle accident on North Main Street that involved a car that crashed through a transmission pole that caused sparking and an explosion, and then a car crashed into a porch, causing the porch roof to collapse. Thank you to the members who answered the alarm at 4:30 a.m. and stayed on scene for several hours. The fire chiefs attending the meeting at the Fire Academy for Middlesex County Chiefs. A meeting was also held with the Milltown Rescue Squad to discuss cross-training. The department will now travel in the future to the Monmouth County Fire Academy for a live training. This is a new experience for our department and will provide enhanced training. If any resident is interested in volunteering and serving the community, the Milltown Fire Department is always looking for new members. Stop by the firehouse any Monday night or send an email to joinmilltownfire@gmail.com. Mayor, this concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman Williams. Next, we'll hear the report from the Department of Utilities, chaired by Councilwoman Bost.
Thank you, Mayor. Don Newman reported that the Milltown Water and Sewer Department oversees all the water and waste that flows through the pipes in our town. Some of the responsibilities include daily work orders that include changing old meters for new markouts, which is the blue and green paint used to show where residents' water and sewer lines are, and answering any emergencies that may occur. The members of the Water and Sewer Department do pump checks each day at our stations, which are located on Elkins Lane, Church Street, Riva, and Brook Drive, to make sure they are working correctly. The water tower by Home Depot is also checked each day. The first water tower, built in 1907 in the Borough, was located on Ford Ave and served the Michelin homes for the factory. This first water tower can still be seen on Ford Ave today. John Eckert reported the following electric utilities report. The substation was checked daily, expired eyewash stations were replaced, a broken pole was replaced on North Wilson, and the transfer over right to the new pole was complete. An old streetlight at 179 Clay Street was replaced with an LED unit. Several other streetlights were replaced. A power problem was investigated at 3 Carina Drive. The utility department removed several trees at different locations. Dusk-filled on floodlights at the Borough Pool were repaired. Preparations are being made to provide new electrical services for Field 2 lighting project at Lower Bradford Park. The utility department worked with the billing department to rectify billing issues and replace malfunctioning meters. Approximately 4 meters were replaced. I'd like to remind the public that electrical meters need to be accessible to meter readers. We are encountering many properties with locked gates prohibiting access. Please trim vegetation in front of meters. Overgrown bushes limit access and can cause estimated bills. Residents are also reminded that they are required to post a warning on any gates where a dog may be in the backyard. Mayor, this concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman Bost. Next, we will hear the report from the Department of Public Works and Recycling, chaired by Councilwoman Paparotto.
Thank you, Mayor. The DPW supervisor reported that along with all curbside bulk collections and regular trash collection, Public Works has the following additional updates. Beginning on Wednesday, May 4th, a new state law called Bag Ban goes into effect. Stores and restaurants will no longer hand out single-use plastic bags. The Public Works Department has been awarded a grant for $5,000 to purchase reusable bags that will be handed out at community events that will help our residents as this change takes effect. Public Works has worked alongside the Utility Department to remove trees on Highland Drive, Adam Place, and East Lawrence. This department will continue removing trees from the approved shade tree list as manpower allows. The street sweeper has been out and will continue throughout the spring. Speaking of spring, the ball fields were all ready for opening days of baseball and softball, and all park bathroom doors have been painted. Reminders, this is concrete week. Please call for an appointment. Grass goes out in cans only on your garbage day. Please check Channel 15 and milltownnj.org for public work updates. Mayor, this concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman Pepperota. Next, we'll hear the report from the Department of Parks and Recreation, chaired by Councilman Adolphus.
Thank you, Mayor. The Recreation Director announced the following updates. Alert to all families. Please visit the Borough's Recreation webpage to sign up for Community Pass. The Recreation Department is aiming at going cashless and would need every family who participates with our recreation programs or Borough Pool to please sign up. Make sure to add family members when you enter your Community Pass account. With spring on the way, please remember if you are interested in renting any Milltown park, please contact the Recreation Department directly to acquire a park facility usage form. Please be sure to visit our recreation webpage and familiarize yourself with our offerings and park locations. My library board report includes the following. The next meeting of the library board will take place in person at the library on Tuesday, April 12th at 6:30 p.m. The board has a number of topics to discuss at this meeting. The most relevant to our youth and government audience is the announcement of a new youth services librarian and highlights of children and teen programming such as story time, read with a pooch, winter's workshop, and the Lego Club. The Recreation Advisory Committee will meet on Wednesday, April 20th at 7 p.m. in person. Many of the recreation programs offered by the Borough's Recreation Department are for children and teens, so the committee welcomes ideas for art, social, sport, and other types of activities that kids in town would enjoy. The next time the Historic Preservation Committee meets will be on Thursday, April 28th at 6:30 p.m. This committee encourages Borough residents of all ages to value and maintain the historic architecture and elements in our community. Mayor, this concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman Adolphus. Next, we'll hear the report from the Department of Environmental Health and Social Services, chaired by Councilwoman Brzezinska.
Thank you, Mayor. The Milltown Environmental Commission will meet April 27, 2022 at 7:30 p.m. via Zoom. The link is available on the Milltown website. The Milltown Revitalization Committee is hosting the Earth Day celebrations on April 23rd and 24th. Please join the fun. Mayor, this concludes the Environmental Health and Social Services report.
Thank you, Councilwoman Brzezinska. Next, we will hear the report from the Department of Finance, Administration, and Planning, chaired by Council President Abdallah.
Thank you, Mayor. My finance report this evening is short, but I want to share that we held a budget meeting last week and hope to introduce our budget at the next meeting in April. Director Cuddy sent me the following senior center report. The installation of the flooring and carpeting was complete. It looks great, and the seniors are so happy to have this finally completed. We continue on our regular classes, including walk aerobics, chorus, art and crafts, men's club, line dancing, tai chi, yoga, and Spanish. Moving forward, in the month of April, we'll be starting some new programs, including men's billiards game beginning on Tuesday, April 5th at 12 p.m. We're also having our first women's club luncheon and meeting on April 12th at 12 p.m. All are welcome to attend, but a sign-up on the bulletin board is required. We will also be having our rap session on Thursday, April 28th at 12 p.m. with Milltown Board Administration, Janet Larson, and Council Lycion Phil Zambrano. We all are welcome to attend. Mayor, this concludes my report.
Thank you, Council President Abdallah. Next, we will hear the report from Business Administrator Sabrina.
I have nothing to report this evening, Mayor.
Thank you, Administrator Severino. Next, we'll hear the report from the Borough Engineer Cooper.
The following projects are presently underway or are being considered in the Borough of Milltown. Hague Avenue and Pitane Avenue improvements. The proposed roads improvements to Hague and Pita generally include the reconstruction of the existing roadways with hot mix asphalt surfaces coarse, hot mix asphalt base coarse, and dense graded aggregated base course. Storm drainage system improvements, replacement of concrete sidewalks and curbing, handicap ramp improvements, maintenance and protection of traffic during the improvements, restoration of related work. The construction of the project is anticipated to be completed this summer. Clayton Court improvements. This road improvements project is similar to Hague and P10. It will enter the design phase during the summer and publicly bid in the fall for completion. Chestnut Street and Highland Drive water system improvements. The project generally consists of water system improvements, including removing water, replacing 6-inch water main and 8-inch water main on Chestnut Street and installing 8-inch water main on the Highland Drive where no water main exists. The projects also consist of removal, furnishing, and installation of fire hydrant assemblies. The furnishing, installation of valves and services connection, paved roadways, trench repair, right of restoration, associated work, and apparatuses in accordance with contracts and documents. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Engineer Cooper. Next, we will hear the report from Borough Attorney Vignolo.
At the Borough Council meeting on March 28, 2022, it was requested that I prepare an invasive species ordinance for consideration by the Borough Council. In connection with my preparation of the ordinance, I have obtained similar ordinances from other municipalities to examine how they address the issue of invasive species. I am currently in the process of reviewing these ordinances. I am also awaiting a list from Councilman Revelinsky of those specific invasive species in which the Environmental Commission believes should be included in the name of the ordinance. On completion of my review of the ordinances and my receipt of the specific invasive species, I will prepare a draft ordinance for the consideration by the Borough Council.
Thank you, Attorney Vignolo. Our reports are concluded, and I would like to open the floor to council to address any old business. Are there any matters any member of council would like to address? Hearing none, I will close old business. Are there any new matters? Hearing none, I will close new business. The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. The council will respect the public's time by refraining from any comment until the speaker has finished. It should be further noted that public comment portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. Please state your name and address for the record when you come to the podium. Seeing none, I will close public comment. I am going to ask that Mayor take over and request the council confirm their actions taken at this meeting by the passage of Resolution 102, 2022.
Thank you. Will the clerk please read the Resolution 102, 2022 by title?
Resolution of the Borough Council of the Borough of Milltown approving the actions taken by student representatives during the April 11, 2022 Youth in Government Council meeting.
You've heard the reading of this resolution. What is your pleasure?
Madam Mayor, I proudly make the motion to approve Resolution 102, 2022.
And I second that.
I have a motion by Councilman Potter and a second by Councilwoman O'Donnell. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Council President Zambrana?
Aye.
Councilman Newbauer? Aye. Let me hear you, Anna. Councilman O'Donnell?
Aye.
Councilman Peretti?
Aye.
Councilman Potter?
Aye.
And Councilman Revelinsky. Mayor, the motion carries.
Thank you. Next, we have council comments. Does any member of the Borough Council have any comments before we close this evening?
I'll just stand over there. Yes, Madam Mayor.
Of course we do.
The Milltown Fire Department also asked the 8th grade to think critically about their role in our community and encourages them to consider volunteering for the betterment of the borough. The membership congratulates the 8th grade on their upcoming graduation and future success in high school. And I would also like to congratulate Councilwoman Williams and the rest of the 8th grade tonight, Youth in Government, for doing a great job. It's great to see what our future holds in Milltown. And I'd also like to congratulate and thank Mrs. Lombardi and also to Mimi Miller for their efforts in putting this all together. Thank you very much.
Margaret? Okay. Seeing no other, I will close council comments, and the mayor comments will be to say thank you to Mayor Sullivan and all of you for doing a fantastic job tonight. It was a real pleasure to meet with you last week. You did a fantastic job. We'll come over and we'll turn it over to you anytime.
I second that.
Yeah. So yes, Milltown has a lot to be proud of, and thank you so much to the families and to your teachers and to the clerk for getting you so well prepared this evening. So it's appreciated. With that, I will turn the program back to my student representative, Mayor Sullivan, to close the meeting.
All scheduled matters have been completed for tonight. What is the pleasure of the council?
I make the motion to adjourn.
I second the motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Excellent.